Hi and welcome to another episode of Harlequin Spice TV. This month for March we'll be talking to Megan Hart. We'll be interviewing her about her books, her writing processes and everything erotic fiction. Hi Megan, and thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited to have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be on the show.
Now look, what I really wanted to find out from you today is a little bit more of information about your life and your journey as an erotic fiction writer. So I know that you started out writing a lot of different genres and you knew from an early age that you wanted to be an author, but what was that journey and how did it entail to end up as an erotic fiction author?
Well, I started writing stories pretty much as soon as I learned to write, and I always liked writing ever since elementary school, and I decided that when I wanted to start to write, even though I also really enjoyed science fiction and fantasy and horror, that the kinds of stories that I wanted to tell, they all fit in the romance mold. And so I started to look into learning how to get published in the romance genre, and I always preferred to read the stories that left the bedroom door wide open, so it made sense to me to write the kind of stories that included those sorts of scenes. And I just was very fortunate that when I started to write, it became more popular to have more graphic romances, and then erotic romance became really popular, and now erotica, which is a little bit more harder edged, is becoming more mainstream and popular, so it worked out really well for me.
As you mentioned, in the last 12 months, erotic fiction has exploded with renewed popularity. Do you think the genre has changed with the expectation of new readers?
I'm not sure that I could say how it has changed, other than giving a little bit more mainstream accessibility and acceptability. People who would never have dreamed of picking up a romance are rushing out to buy erotic fiction, and I think that's great. It certainly has opened up the doors to a lot of people, like I said, who would never have considered it before, but you know, everybody's doing it, so people like to do what everybody else is doing, I guess.
It does, definitely. It makes it a lot more fun when everybody's chatting about what happened in chapter 5 or what happened here.
Right. And I think that whether new readers love or hate the genre, it has certainly given a lot of people a lot of things to talk about. So that's always good.
Now, surely the most common question has to be, where do you get your inspiration? How are you able to craft all of these amazing sex scenes?
I don't have an easy answer for that. My inspiration comes from, I like to say that I like to write about everything that I wish that I could do or that would happen to me, and everything that I fear happening to me, too. Not necessarily the sex scenes part.
I would love to know what a Megan Hart playlist looks like. What do you think is the sexiest song?
Oh my gosh, okay. The sexiest song of all time, and it's probably on every playlist, is called Glory Box by Portishead. And actually my good friend Lauren Dane turned me on to that song, and I hated it at first because the lyrics, at one point she says, give me a reason to love you, give me a reason to be a woman. And I was like, I don't need a man to make me a woman. And I was all affronted by it, but oh, that is the sexiest song ever, Glory Box.
You want to go home and listen to it now.
It is, gosh, that all my characters do it to that song.
This is the insider secret now. We all know to be listening to it while we're reading your sex scenes.
Go to my website, which is www.meganhart.com. I do list all the music that I listen to while writing a book, and usually it's included also in the acknowledgments. So if you ever wonder what my characters were listening to while they were getting it on, you just listen to the playlist and then you know.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Megan.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. Our latest release for Megan Hart is Broken. Be sure to pick up a copy this month. And please tell us what you think on Facebook and Twitter. Until next month, happy reading.